On Christmas Eve last year, Scotland's environment watchdog was subjected to a devastating cyber attack which locked the organisation out of its IT systems. In the immediate aftermath, bosses at SEPA didn't even have a record of who worked for them. 6 months later, many of its services are up and running again, but SEPA still can't access some of its data. In the first of two reports, our Home Affairs correspondent David Cowan looks at the impact of the attack.
Cara Eze works in the great outdoors, part of a team taking water samples from 85 beaches around the Scottish coast. But, just like the rest of SEPA's 1,200-strong workforce, she relies on its IT network. And on Christmas Eve, they discovered they were locked out.
Yeah, the loss of emails, I personally found it really, really difficult at the start, so yeah. Oh gosh, it was strange. Really, really odd. And yeah, after a while we started to realise the impacts of what was happening, and just as time went on we started to understand it a little bit better.
It took 5 months to get the bathing water sampling programme back on track and ready to start as planned on the 1st of June. You were already working in difficult conditions.
Absolutely.
Because of COVID, and then this happens.
Yes, it was almost like the double punch, where there was a few times when I would wake up in the middle of the night and think, blimey. But we had, fortunately, support from a lot of very clever people and very, very enthusiastic staff.
Part of Scotland's critical national infrastructure, SEPA issues flood warnings, regulates 5,000 industrial sites, including nuclear power stations, and investigates pollution incidents. It comments on planning applications and grants permits and licences.
Well, what went through my mind is what always happens in any emergency. You have to be calm.
The cyber attack was so comprehensive, the agency no longer knew who it employed.
I said to our Chief Financial Officer, we normally pay around the end of the month. And I said, have we paid people? And he said, we always bring the payment forward before Christmas, so we have. And I said, so we've got a month to work out how to pay people in January. And someone said, well, we've got a month to work out who works for us.
After SEPA refused to pay the demanded Bitcoin ransom, 4,000 stolen files were published online. 6 months on, many services are back up and running, but some data remains locked. The agency predicts it could take another 18 months to install a new IT system and fully recover. SEPA believes it was as well protected from a cyber attack as it could have been, but clearly that protection didn't work. An independent audit of its systems is now underway. Did you have offline backup for your IT systems?
Yeah, so as the police have said, SEPA isn't an organisation that was poorly protected. So we were accredited to the government standard, and we'd actually taken extra steps beyond that to put some protections in. We had reform aims anyway, so we were going to build a new IT system progressively over 5 or 6 years. This is an opportunity we didn't want provided by criminals, but we've decided to fast track that, and we will build that in 1 or 2 years rather than 5 or 6 years.
SEPA has promised to publish the results of 4 external reviews so lessons can be learned. David Cowan reporting Scotland.